Or they tweet and they weep about violence by police every time they see a little girl or a boy shot. But then they get silent every time we speak about a boycott.
What up, world? Royce the ruler.
I'ma make it say it. Hope you can hold your breath for 60 seconds. Whole time. Go.
So this year, I had the opportunity to go to the Congressional Black Caucus and sit in on the Hip Hop Caucus in the state that Black Americans feel the need to fight for their rights, and just the top freedom fighters, the people who, you know, not only just believe in us but fight for us. Yeah.
Who was on this panel last year? Raise your hand. Okay? Now, if y'all recall last year, and the year before that, and the year before that, and the year before that, I think this is the 5th year, somewhere that I've done this. I don't like any of these panels where we just talk, where we just sort of do this. I was doing homework and assignments. So we're going to begin this panel with each person who was here last year. I need to know in 120 seconds what we talked about last year. What did you accomplish in the last 364 days?
Called Revolutionary Reels, where we bring people together through film. Last night we had an event celebrating the 12-year anniversary of the Gathering for Justice, where I moderated a panel with our founder, Harry Belafonte, and he is mentoring artists. And he's talking to P. Diddy, he's talking to Jay-Z. I went to Jay-Z's concert the other night. I kind of like slipped away from work. And he's dedicated, and you know, it was actually work because I got re-inspired to come out even harder, because he dedicated his concert to Colin Kaepernick and to Dick Gregory. He talked about Dick Gregory and his activism and how it was never talked to a lot of us about is the fact that we have to meet people where they're at and champion them to our cause. And he's talking to the Diddies that have all this money but don't necessarily feel that they have fulfilled anything with their life. Diddy wants to be mentored by Harry Belafonte. Mr. B talks to T.I., he talks to all these different people. And he says, it is my role, even at 90 years old when I'm tired, to continue to cultivate the next artist. He talks about Paul Robeson being his mentor, and always saying artists are the gatekeepers to truth. They are civilization's radical voice. And so if we as activists think we're going to do it for ourselves, it's not possible. We need our artists to amplify the work that we're doing on the ground. It's the reason why Mysonne is so critical to our movement. Not only is he a man who was formerly incarcerated, but he's also the person that be spitting some fire, things that I can't do. He puts it in some very eloquent, like, you know, rhyme, and people are moving and grooving to it. And I wish I could do that, but I can't, because there's a lane for me. I'm the strategist, I'm the visionary, and my brother is the one that holds us down, that is able to then take our message and amplify it. And so I hope that we also I'm not saying this, have compassion for everybody who's out there rapping. You know, I gotta say, I want to point something out. When I was younger, I used to listen to Method Man. And I used to work as a 17-year-old at the welfare department. And this woman would be like, why are you listening to that shit? She's like, oh my God, could you understand it? She's like, when I was younger, we listened to disco. And I was like, okay, cool, I listen to that too. And I said, he's talking about cash rules everything around me, cream, get the money, dollar, dollar bill, y'all. I didn't know at the time, at 17, we gotta stop. You talking about stopping. Listen, we are ages. We forget that we were once 15, 17, 19, 30, 40, 50, 60. We start saying, oh, that music, I don't understand it. Well, you know what? There's your music, there's my music, let's make music together, but let's not diss each other.
Yes.
The more we create walls and we create these divisions, we're never going to build collective power. And that's the problem in our communities. We see it firsthand. And so I just kind of want to say that.
The whole purpose of the Colin Kaepernick knee and everything. Just so happens that today is Super Bowl Sunday, February 4th, 2018. And the main purpose of that whole situation was the effects that we have going on in the world of the criminal justice system, mainly in the United States.
I had talked to several folks with this panel. They know we talk all the time. I call other people as well. And my question was, is there a central organizing body? Is there an entity that is external, that is leading the effort? And folks said, let's see how folks respond after that march, after that rally. And so what's interesting is that I see different individuals, this person with this person over here, but where is that centralized force that is an external force that can put the pressure on the NFL, not just to sign Colin Kaepernick, but to address those critical issues? That, to me, I think, is a missing piece. The Women's March could not have been successful unless that was strategy, organization, infrastructure. And I think a lot of times we miss that. So when you can speak to that, but also the what's next.
Well, I think that our country suffers from what I like to call selective morality. So often we'll say that certain things offend us, but then if it's out of sight, out of mind, we take that for granted. In one
March, we didn't ask for a seat at the table. That's not our mission is not a seat at the table. We got a lot of people with seats at the table, and a lot of people that have seats but aren't leveraging their power with the seats that they have. We wanted to be at the center of the table. And we said if we were not going to be at the center of the table and our people weren't going to be at the center of the table, we wanted nothing to do with that Women's March. And guess what happened? We did get that seat at the table, and we got to sit on the table, and we got to center our people, and we got to put the mothers of the movement on that stage. We got to put black women and black trans women on that stage. We got to put Muslims on that stage and undocumented people on that stage. And that's what happens when we go into these places, we intervene, we make sure that our voices are heard, and when we're not heard, we keep on making sure that our voices are louder and louder and louder until people hear us. They said we were divisive. We were talking about race. Just to be clear, that wasn't by accident. Those conversations about race that we were having were by design, because the reason why we had November 9th was because we don't talk about race in this country. So we want you to know that what happens at the Women's March ain't what you saw on January 21st. It was the tears. It was the frustration. It was the late nights at night when we had to explain to people why our lives matter, why Black lives matter, why we needed to be centered in that Women's March. So we want you to know we took one for the team, and it wasn't easy. So
I'm going to go next to Carmen, and Linda said, I triggered something in her. That response triggered something in me, because this is where I also, when I was saying, sisters, why you sitting down? This is where also brothers come in. And the three of them can tell you. When we were at the March in Washington, the 20th anniversary, I pulled all three of them aside. And I said, let me explain something to y'all. I said, I'm going to use every platform I have to elevate the three of you. Now, when I call you, you need to be there. When I call you to be on radio, I don't want to hear I'm busy. All three of y'all ain't busy at the same time.
I know that's right.
I said for television, same thing. Now why? And there was some other activists who were upset, like, why you keep elevating them? I'm like, because I know they're doing the work.
That's right.
When Linda said about the tears, stuff along those lines, I recall phone calls talking with the three of them when they were going through this stuff. The reason that would trigger that lack of proper applause is because the point of this panel is to talk about the work and how to encourage our folks when they do the work. And our people cannot bear the pain the agony and the frustration, and then we don't show them the proper love.
I know
That's
right.
why that matters, because sometimes when other folk don't say thank you, when your people say thank you, it means a heck of a whole lot to you. Carmen Perez.
What Linda said, we organized that march in 10 weeks. And we were actually tired because, you know, you talking about where were we coming from? I remember coming from California to this.
Majority of the people are missing the whole point of what it was that actually was going on with Kaepernick and the whole situation with the knee. You know, we've lost a tremendous amount of good people. You know, as far as I can tell, decent people. The one thing that actually does always blow me is the fact that they try to equate having minimal, if any, drugs in a person's system to them being, you know, vile creatures of some sort. You know what I'm saying? They did this several times with the younger of the kids that, you know, they've shot down with just in recent years. I mean, you can name a whole litany of people, Tamir Rice, or, you know, the blacks, but mainly the ones that, you know, in general that were young. Mike Brown. You know, I know a lot of Mike Browns. You know,
Yeah, man. So I'm here at the Charles County Courthouse. It's kind of corny, man, because I ain't been arrested in 9 years, man. They still got bullshit on my record that I've been trying to get off for the past 9 years. I actually have come up here before. I don't think it was you that I spoke with, but I am looking to expunge my So I've expunged. So it's not that I'm looking to expunge. I've already expunged, and this is from 2009. And I just so I went to go get a house,
And they still, the federal.
and whoever's, you know, taking, getting my record is
Saying.
still saying that it's on there, and I have a case with you guys, and this is what is this? This is criminal, or and this is and the circuit is over there. Right?
This is circuit.
Okay, this is circuit, and then the other building is what?
District. So they have smaller criminal crimes.
Right. So I have something here in circuit court, and then I have something here in district court as well. Mm-hmm. So the one from district court is actually older than the one from here. Mm-hmm. Now, the most recent one, which is this one that I'm talking about, happened in 2009. Mm-hmm.
Do you see it online?
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. I went to go lease a home. This has been going on for the past 9 years. I've been denied jobs. I've been denied housing.
Because some of the background agencies, I mean, when did you get it expunged? Do you remember?
I got it expunged in 2014.
See, some of the background, I know, like, we're running them, but I've only started doing it in 2015. So I kept telling people, you need to have the people you're dealing with have their background company rerun your background, and because they're selling old background checks. So I don't know. Do you see it on Case Search though?
but yeah, you know, there has to be some real criminal justice reform. I have myself been in a position where I've had an open case on my record for the past 9 years. And as you can see, the answers that I got are not solid answers. They don't help the situation. And quite honestly, it just put that much more work on said person. So I know a person would say, like, so what is it that you think needs to go on? Because you're not really giving us any different answers of any type of nature. But what I would say at that point is we need a central system that governs all of these vendors. A person being able to go into a interrogation room, tell somebody that you sold them something which is totally false, totally bogus, could ever affect you for 9 years. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I mean, the character of that guy is something that I don't necessarily want to speak on. That's not even the purpose of this. I had the opportunity to go to the Hirshhorn, and what that did is tied everything to a worldly perspective of how many people it actually is, freedom fighters, and people just in their own places, cities, countries that are fighting for their rights every day.
Top of the morning to you. Let's get to it. Everybody have a blessed day.
Yeah, don't be mad at me, streets, babe.
If you would like to give to the disaster relief of the recent disasters that we've had, my man has an innovative way of doing that. Check it out.
And the proceeds from that song, so please go to iTunes, Spotify, and download Here Comes the Sun by Anthony Smith and Jeremiah. Those proceeds will be going to helping our people regarding Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Harvey. Thank you.
All right, folks.